Do you ever find yourself stuck in an endless loop of overthinking? You know, replaying scenarios in your mind or worrying about things you simply can't control? If this sounds familiar, you are certainly not alone. Overthinking is a common struggle faced by many, and it can drain our energy, create unnecessary stress, and ultimately rob us of our peace of mind. In our fast-paced world filled with constant distractions and demands, it's all too easy to become overwhelmed, leading to cycles of confusion and anxiety. Whether we worry about decisions we've made in the past or fret about what the future holds, our thoughts can become cluttered. This mental chaos can prevent us from moving forward in our lives, leaving us feeling paralyzed. But what if there was a way to break free from this cycle? Today, we are going to explore 11 Stoic habits that can help you stop overthinking and find that peace you may be yearning for. As we navigate through these habits, I invite you to reflect on your own thought patterns and consider how you might incorporate these timeless strategies into your life. Let's begin, shall we? To effectively combat overthinking, it's important first to understand why we tend to get trapped in this cycle. There are several common triggers that often lead us into the maze of rumination. The first one is fear of the future. We tend to worry about potential outcomes that may never come to pass. Whether it's fear related to our careers, relationships, finances, or health, our imaginations often run wild, concocting worst-case scenarios that weigh us down. Next, regret over the past plays a significant role. Many of us find ourselves ruminating about our previous missteps, replaying those moments in our minds where we feel we should have acted differently. This urge to fix the past leads to mental fatigue and emotional distress. Added to these triggers is the fear of judgment from others. We can become paralyzed by the thought of how we are perceived by those around us. The anxiety of worrying what others may think can cause us to overanalyze our decisions and behaviors, ultimately stalling our progress. At its core, Stoicism offers a counterbalance to these fears. It emphasizes clarity, a focus on what we can control, and a practice of acceptance. By embracing Stoic principles, we can transcend the anxieties that fuel overthinking and learn to navigate our thoughts with grace. With this understanding in mind, let's explore the first Stoic habit that can help us break free from overthinking. The first habit is to focus only on what you can control. This fundamental Stoic principle, often referred to as the dichotomy of control, urges us to allocate our mental energy toward what lies within our sphere of influence while letting go of everything else. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus expressed it beautifully when he stated, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things beyond our control." When we apply this perspective to our lives, we find that many of our worries revolve around things we have no power over, such as other people's thoughts or future events. For instance, if you're anxious about an upcoming job interview, instead of fixating on the outcome or the possibility of failure, focus on preparation, practice, and your own response during the interview. This shift in mindset not only alleviates anxiety, but also empowers you as you consciously choose to engage with what you can influence. To genuinely embrace this habit in your life, you might start by taking a moment to write down your current concerns regarding a situation. Then categorize them into what you can control and what you cannot. You may be surprised to discover that a significant portion of your worries falls into the latter category. By releasing these external concerns, you free up your mind to focus on actionable steps you can take, and that clarity will help you navigate life more confidently. Let's move on to our second habit. The second habit entails using logic to challenge negative thoughts. One of the hallmarks of Stoic philosophy is its emphasis on rationality over emotional reactions. When negative thoughts arise, we can reframe them by guiding ourselves through a series of logical inquiries. You might ask yourself, what evidence supports this thought? Or, is this thought helpful? Let's take an example for clarity. Suppose you're preparing for a presentation at work, and a fearful thought dances into your head, proclaiming that you'll embarrass yourself in front of your colleagues. Instead of letting this thought fester, challenge it. Ask yourself, what evidence do I have that supports this? Have I presented before? What feedback did I receive? Often, when we probe these negative thoughts logically, we realize they're exaggerated or unfounded. This cognitive restructuring can disrupt the cycle of overthinking and help you see your circumstances with greater clarity. Another helpful exercise is to consider how you might advise a friend if they were grappling with similar fears. Would you let them dwell in negativity? Probably not. You'd encourage them to recognize their capabilities and confront their fears. By continually practicing this habit of using logic to challenge negative thoughts, you cultivate resilience. Your mind begins to rewire itself to default to reason and rationality rather than succumbing to reactive emotions. The third habit focuses on practicing present moment awareness, a crucial aspect of counteracting overthinking. Often our minds pull us away from the present moment, leading us to dwell on regrets of the past or worries about the future. As Marcus Aurelius stated, confine yourself to the present. Mindfulness encourages us to fully engage in the here and now, which can significantly diminish anxiety and promote a sense of peace. To foster this present moment awareness in your daily life, consider incorporating simple mindfulness practices. Start with mindful breathing. Take a few moments each day to focus solely on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a moment, and then exhale slowly. By concentrating on your breath, you ground yourself in the present, allowing those anxious thoughts about the past or the future to fade away. Another technique is to engage your senses. If you find your mind drifting during a conversation or while working on a task, perform a sensory check. Name 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. This exercise not only connects you to the present moment, but also nourishes your appreciation for the world around you. Consistently practicing mindfulness helps to cultivate the habit of living in the present, enabling you to combat the drift of overthinking. Embrace the moments that make up your life now, for they are fleeting. The fourth habit is to limit information overload. In today's digital age, we are bombarded by information from multiple sources: social media, news feeds, and constant notifications. This constant influx of information can easily fuel overthinking and heighten our anxiety levels. Many Stoics advocated for simplicity and intentionality in living. Reducing both mental and physical clutter creates a clearer space for us to think more effectively. Consider making a conscious effort to manage the amount of information you consume. For instance, reduce your screen time by setting specific limits on how long you engage with social media or news outlets each day. Designating blocks of time for checking updates rather than allowing it to interrupt your day mindlessly can be incredibly liberating. You can also curate the content you consume. Follow sources that inspire and uplift you rather than those that evoke anxiety or negativity. Ask yourself which articles, videos, or podcasts add value to your life and contribute positively to your state of mind. Another effective strategy is to practice a digital detox. Step away from screens for a certain period each week or month. Use that time to engage in activities that nourish your soul and well-being, like going for a walk in nature, reading a good book, or connecting with friends face-to-face. As you limit information overload, you'll likely find that your mind settles down. You'll create space for clarity, allowing you to focus on what truly matters rather than getting lost in an avalanche of irrelevant data. The fifth habit is to set clear priorities. A lack of clarity about our goals and values can lead us into indecision and consequently overthinking. If we don't genuinely know what matters most to us, even simple decisions can feel overwhelming. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely stated, "If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable." Identifying and defining your priorities establishes a clearer course for your life that helps you avoid getting sidetracked by endless possibilities. To get started, spend time reflecting on your core values. Consider what truly matters to you, be it family, career, health, or personal growth. Once you've identified your top priorities, write them down. Having this clarity will assist you in making decisions aligned with your values. Moreover, aim to set specific, achievable goals that directly align with those priorities. This clarity will empower you, reducing overthinking by offering a clear framework for your actions. At the beginning of each day, remind yourself of your priorities to keep you grounded. As you move through your daily tasks, ask yourself, does this align with what I value? This practice of aligning actions with priorities can drastically simplify your decision-making process and help you stay focused on what truly matters in your life. The sixth habit is to embrace imperfection. Perfectionism is a significant contributor to overthinking. The fear of not meeting our own or others' standards often leads us to overanalyze our every decision and action, trapping us in a relentless cycle of self-doubt. In Stoicism, embracing reality as it is, flaws, mistakes and all, is vital for attaining inner peace. The Stoics realized that life is imperfect and that striving for perfection in every aspect is not only unrealistic, but this mindset can also lead to dissatisfaction and anxiety. To embody this habit, practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that it's completely normal to make mistakes or have flaws. If you catch yourself fixating on a perceived imperfection, ask yourself, would I extend the same harsh criticism to a friend if they were in my position? Often, the answer is no. You would likely show kindness and understanding. Incorporate affirmations into your routine. Consider adopting phrases such as, done is better than perfect. This mindset allows you the freedom to appreciate completion rather than endlessly striving for an unattainable ideal. Additionally, set a good enough standard for yourself. Instead of fixating on executing tasks to perfection, aim for effectiveness. If you're working on a project, establish a benchmark for completion that allows for imperfections. This will help liberate you from the paralyzing grip of overthinking and welcome the beauty of the human experience. By cultivating an appreciation for imperfection, you free yourself from excessive self-criticism while fostering a more compassionate relationship with yourself. The seventh habit encourages us to limit emotional attachment to outcomes. Overthinking often arises from a fear of failure or loss, where we invest immense energy worrying about how things might turn out. We become entrenched in the potential consequences, allowing anxiety to dictate our decision-making. This is where the Stoic principle of amor fati, or loving your fate, becomes incredibly liberating. It teaches us to embrace whatever happens, regardless of the outcome, thus freeing us from the anxiety that often accompanies attachment to specific results. To practice this habit, try visualizing multiple outcomes before tackling a decision. Consider how you would feel if things didn't go as planned. This mental rehearsal desensitizes you to potential disappointment, allowing you to weigh your options more rationally. Moreover, acknowledge that outcomes are beyond your control. You can control your actions, your preparations, and your mindset, but external variables often govern the results we seek. Accepting this reality fosters a profound sense of peace. Lastly, limit your emotional attachment to specific outcomes. Instead of fixating on a singular desired result, embrace the notion of being open to various possibilities. Allow events to unfold as they will. By doing so, you'll open yourself to personal growth and insight that may emerge regardless of the outcome. The less you cling to particular results, the less you will overthink your decisions. The eighth habit is to journal your thoughts. This powerful practice not only helps you organize your thoughts, but also identify patterns and release mental clutter. Journaling serves as an emotional and cognitive outlet, allowing you to process your experiences. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, utilized journaling as a means of self-reflection and growth. By documenting his thoughts, he could clarify his mind and navigate challenges with greater insight. To integrate journaling into your routine, start by setting aside time each day, perhaps in the morning or evening, to write down your thoughts. This dedicated time for reflection encourages deeper insights into your feelings and experiences. Consider using prompts to guide your entries. Ask yourself questions such as, "What am I worried about today?" or "What's within my control regarding this worry?" Letting your thoughts flow unfiltered onto the page can reveal insights that help you recognize patterns and areas for growth. Periodically, revisit your past entries. This practice allows you to track your mental patterns, how you felt at various moments, what triggered certain worries, and how you resolved them. Observing these trends enables you to understand yourself more deeply and fosters personal development by highlighting areas where you've grown. Ultimately, journaling serves as a powerful release valve. By systematically processing your emotions and acknowledging how transient thoughts can be, you empower yourself to combat overthinking and cultivate greater emotional clarity. The ninth habit is to take action, even if it's just in small steps. Overthinking has a tendency to paralyze us, leading us into a web of indecision, anxiety, and frustration. This inertia often prevents progress, amplifying our worries. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Do what nature demands, get on with it." This simple admonition highlights the importance of action as a remedy for overthinking. To harness the power of small steps, start by identifying a tiny action you can take immediately. If you're overwhelmed by a larger project, break it down into manageable tasks and tackle just one thing today. For example, if your goal is to adopt a healthier lifestyle, don't aim to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Instead, commit to drinking an additional glass of water each day or going for a brief walk. Setting micro goals can create a sense of achievement. Shift your focus from grand milestones to daily doable steps that feel attainable. As you consistently make progress, no matter how small, each action reinforces your confidence, creating momentum to propel you forward. Additionally, create accountability by sharing your goals with a trusted friend or family member. Their encouragement can provide support and motivation to keep moving forward, helping diminish the tendency to overthink. By embracing action, even in small doses, you step out of the cycle of overthinking and into a realm where progress becomes possible. Remember that progress doesn't have to be monumental. It can be a collection of small victories that contribute to your larger aspirations. The 10th habit encourages you to limit the time spent on decisions. When faced with multiple choices, the pressure to make the perfect decision can trigger analysis paralysis, which only adds to our propensity for overthinking. The Stoics championed the principles of simplicity and clarity, both of which can help streamline your decision-making process. One effective technique is to set time limits on your decision-making. For instance, allocate a specific time frame for making choices, especially for matters that won't significantly impact your life. If the outcome won't matter in 5 years, spend no more than 5 minutes worrying about it. Using the 80-20 rule can help you focus on the most impactful decisions. Rather than being consumed by trivial matters, prioritize the choices that have consequences. Concentrate your mental energy on the decisions that will have the most significant impact on your life. Lastly, practice trusting your intuition. Often your gut feelings can provide valuable insights, especially after you've engaged in thoughtful reflection. Once you've weighed your options, don't hesitate to follow your instincts, even if it feels uncertain. Limiting your time spent on decisions will result in reclaiming precious mental energy. As you become more adept at making decisions, you will find that the pathways to clarity and action become more accessible, ultimately strengthening your confidence and alleviating overthinking. Our final habit invites us to reflect on mortality as a means of gaining perspective. The Stoic practice of memento mori, which reminds us that life is finite, can profoundly shift our focus toward what truly matters. When we acknowledge the impermanence of life, we often find encouragement to prioritize our time and energy effectively. By reflecting on the notion of mortality, we can start each day with gratitude and clarity. Take a moment to contemplate, if this were my last day, how would I choose to act? This question can serve as a potent motivator, nudging you closer to your authentic self and the pursuits that genuinely fulfill you. Another aspect of embracing mortality is to cultivate gratitude. Each day, make a conscious effort to reflect on what you're genuinely grateful for. Acknowledging the positive aspects of your life can cultivate an appreciation for the present moment. diminishing the weight of overthinking. Finally, focus on creating meaningful experiences. Pursue interests that ignite your passion, connect deeply with loved ones, and immerse yourself in activities that foster moments you will cherish. The more you live intentionally and authentically, the less time you will spend worrying about inconsequential matters. Recognizing our mortality acts as a profound antidote to overthinking. This awareness encourages us to prioritize connections and activities that resonate with our values, thus freeing our minds from unnecessary distractions. As we conclude our exploration of these 11 Stoic habits, let's briefly recap what we've discovered on this journey to quiet the mind. We began by emphasizing the importance of focusing only on what you can control. We then explored how to use logic to effectively challenge negative thoughts, while practicing present-moment awareness to anchor ourselves. The importance of limiting information overload and setting clear priorities followed, along with embracing imperfection. We learned to limit emotional attachment to outcomes, journal our thoughts, and take action, even in small steps. Then, we delved into the significance of limiting time spent on decisions. Lastly, reflecting on mortality to gain perspective. These practices work together to break the cycle of overthinking and guide us toward a more peaceful, centered existence. As you take this journey, I encourage you to take it one step at a time. Perhaps choose 1 or 2 habits to practice over the coming week. With time and dedication, these Stoic principles will become second nature, leading you to a life filled with greater clarity and tranquility. Let me leave you with a powerful quote from Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Thank you for joining me today. If you found value in these habits, please like and subscribe to this channel, and share this video with anyone who may benefit from these timeless insights. Here's to quieting our minds and finding peace in our ever-busy lives.